r/AskReddit. What's the creepiest message you've received from someone? I was beating a guy in Black Ops 2, so he sent an Xbox Connect image of his a-hole. This made me laugh so ducking hard. Sorry about that, was an accident. Happens. At about 11 PM, a family friend texts me this, as accurately as I remember. Look, I thought I could do it. I can't. It's been 6 months since it happened and nobody even cares anymore. He's just a kid. I do not want to be any further involved. Ask someone else. About 30 seconds later. Oh, sorry. That was just a mistake. I meant to send that to my brother. We're just messing around. I don't know, man. Dude, that's the first text here that really freaked me out. Did you ever find out what it was about? I only met the guy once afterwards. Couldn't really find the chance to talk about it, and he didn't even seem like it was on his mind at all. We had never previously ever talked via text, and never did afterwards either. He's my dad's friend, not mine really. Mine was a phone call. I picked up, and some guy just says, "Are you going to kill me?" I didn't recognize the voice, so I immediately just said, "What?" He repeated himself and I said, "Wrong number." He then hung up. In hindsight, it was obviously some guy who pissed off his so and misdialed. However, the way he kind of whispered, "Are you going to kill me?" as soon as I picked up the call freaked me out. A random number sent me a long SMS in which he argued that I shouldn't be ducking truck drivers for cheap money while I can hook up with him and his rich friends for much more money. I replied that I am a guy and he probably has the wrong number. To which he replied that he knew who am I and gave me my university dorm address. I blocked him instantly, but it creeped me so much then. It may be a prank, but it didn't sound like one. And I was an international student there, so I didn't really have friends who would prank me like this. Look man, it's not too late. Just stop ducking truck drivers. My friends and I are AskReddit willing to give you good money. I dunno dude. Hairy sweaty truck drivers are just very attractive. Last year I was idly wasting away my afternoon when I got a message notification on Facebook. I opened it up and it was a 20-year-old guy saying, "Are you?" My full legal name? No one really knows my full name, so I figured this kid knew me. I open up his page and he lives halfway across the states from me. We have no mutual friends, and, as far as I can tell, we would have had no way to ever meet. I respond, "Yep," to which he responds, "I am going to ducking murder you." Slightly smiling face. I am 27 years old and not terribly paranoid, but this shook me to my very core. As far as I know, I study AskReddit have him blocked on Messenger. Edit. I want to thank everyone for concern over my safety. At the advice of some commenters, I have turned over the conversation to Facebook through their reporting system. Also, I realize I didn't say in the story, but I am a male. I am also a gun owner with my concealed carry license. I have moved twice since this incident and my location on Facebook is not accurate. I don't know who else to report it to, because the police here would laugh me out of the office if I reported this. I am very aware of my surroundings, but, as far as I can tell, this guy lives 1,500 plus miles away from me. A random number texted me saying, "I'm outside. Open the door late at night when I was at home." Turns out they just texted the wrong number, but freaked me out nonetheless. Edit. Spelling. I've accidentally sent that text to the wrong number, so if you were the person I sent it to, I'm extremely sorry. This happened when I was around 16 or 17. I was on a bus and in my school's sport uniform. Then I got a text from an unsaved number asking, "Are you not cold in those thin clothes?" It was a chill morning, so looked around inside the bus immediately and got another text. "Stop looking, you're not going to find me." If it makes you feel better, it sounds just vague enough to be a prank. They wouldn't even have to be around to do it. Everyone would look around after that first message. That's chilling. Did you ever figure out who it was? It was a guy who lived in the apartment building not far from my house. I study AskReddit have no idea how he got my number, but I didn't think he would do anything. He texted me and told me that himself after I moved out. There was a mentally handicapped man in our neighborhood. I went to park to meet up with some friends and while waiting, I saw him there. I was kinda hurt seeing how people stare at him like as if he's a big disgrace in the place, so I sat next to him. That was the first time I talked to him. It was an innocent moment. He wrote me a poem and even drew a portrait of me. I kept it as a treasure and bid him goodbye when my friends came. The next day, he was outside our church's door and began following me on my way home. My mom got worried because he turned interested with the other girls too and was reported to be stalking them around and touching their privates, so my mom shooed the poor guy away. He was out of sight for a few months and then an FB message popped up and he confessed his love for me and commented on my photos in public. I blocked the profile and it was quiet for a few months. And then he chatted Mr. again using a different account, which I blocked. And then he chatted me again using another. He would go to the church and just look from outside and then leave me messages written on paper. This is so sad to me. I tried to be kind to people when I was younger, especially those who were a bit different. But you just make yourself a target for some unpleasantness, more often than not. Nowadays I walk on by. My safety is more important than their feelings. It wasn't the message that was creepy, it was the details. I got a friend request and a message on FB from some dude with a car as his profile pic. The message was just something like, "Hey, remember me? I didn't," and had to be like, "Who are you?" It turned out it was this dude from a Chinese restaurant near my house. He remembered my name from my debit card and searched me out. Not me, but my female friend. A man sent her a big pic in which he had inserted a pencil, with the caption, "A hole this big could fill your entire body with my load." Romantic. Also, what the actual hell? How can anyone insert something in their big WTF doesn't that ship? Hurt. Edit. I think commenting its subreddit is not allowed here. I received a recycled number and the previous owner had used it everywhere from his bank to shopping websites, so I used to get a lot of spam. I even tried to explain to the bank when they called regarding the account. One day someone added me on Snapchat through my phone number, and upon seeing my Snapchat story, a 35-year-old woman replied to my story of watching Star Wars by saying, "I attended your funeral." What a way to find out you died. About a year after graduating high school, I was playing hockey with my buddy when both of our phones beep. It was our former HS band teacher. We had his number from a cross-country field trip the band went on. The message: "Hey guys, it's former band teacher. Group gangbang tonight. Let me know if you're in." Sounds like someone got a hold of his phone and played a prank. Sure, Mr. Former band teacher, let's go with that. When I was a sophomore in high school, a girl in one of my classes told me she would kill herself if she couldn't be my girlfriend. I really had no idea what to make of this and didn't understand at the time that it was really all about her and not about me at all. Of course I pretended to be her boyfriend, but we never so much as made out. A couple of times we went on long walks after school and that was about the extent of our relationship. It was a bizarre experience. I could see this going. "Huh? Will you be my boyfriend? I'll just die if you won't be my boyfriend. You. No LOL. I'll send flowers to your funeral." I got a text from a wrong number and all it said was, "He won't be bothering you anymore." I took care of it. Sounds like a prank. I accidentally got talking to a crazy Christian chick who was engaged to get married in a few months. Her husband is a ginger and I am also. Turns out she has a major fetish for them. One day she was talking to me online while playing a modded version of the Sims video game. She popped up and said, "Hey, look what I built." She sends me a few screenshots of the game. Turns out she'd made myself and her husband in a gay relationship on the game. The details were scarily accurate with the face body creation. The first screenshot I got was me, in game, naked. The mod has full nude Sims with penises and all, with my legs spread on a kitchen bench with her husband ducking me in the ass. Yes, I studied AR learn it'll have the pictures. I slowly stopped talking to her after that. I was running late for work one morning, a couple years ago, and got a phone call from a local number I didn't recognize. Asked who was calling and a deep, muffled voice said something like, "It's Mike." I didn't know any mics and figured it was a wrong number, so I said as much. Hung up and kept getting ready. Then I heard my phone go off again and again. Checked my texts and I had a series of messages like, "I'm at the hotel, I'm opening the door to your room, you're naked on the bed," etc. from the same number. I'd had enough by that point, so I replied, "If this is friend who love to pull pranks, duck you. And if this is a psychopath, can we do this later? I'm late for work. Thanks. They replied you're funny. Bye, and that was the last I heard from them. Grilled all of my friends and I'm sure none of them were behind the messages. ETA. I'm from Quebec. I knew one Mike. Former friends BF. But that's literally it. I know a whole lot of Alexanders and Gabriels though. I'm loving these replies. Hey, you look like my sister and I'm into inbreeding. Gross. I messaged back that's good to hear cause my brother is also my father. Nailed it. He didn't reply back. This is so sad. Alexa play Sweet Home Alabama. Was playing some CS. Go. Teammate started out really nice at the start of the game. We started losing and he got really toxic. I told him to calm down or something like that and he said I will ducking kill you in real life. After the game he sent me a friend request. I accepted expecting him to do some trash talking and call me ship. Instead he sent me my address, my dad's full name and my phone number. Being 16, I was terrified. Did he end up doing it? RIP. A guy was writing me on Grindr. I wasn't interested. So I said I wasn't interested. He keeps persisting that we should meet tonight. I was like WE. Stopped responding. Then he said he would take his car to come find me. When I refreshed the app I saw the distance drop from 3,000 meters to 200 meters. He was like I'm close now. Then I blocked him. Turned off all lights in my apartment. I live on the first floor. Now I'm careful to have distance showing on dating apps. Okay, this is the creepiest. Had a stalker. She used to call at weird times at night. If I answered she would say nothing. If I let it go to voicemail she would leave nonsensical messages. And yes, I changed my number 3 times. She always tracked it down. In the end I had to swear people never to give out my number to anyone. But yeah, hadn't had any contact with her for a week or 2 and then at 3 or 4 AM on a Friday night my phone rings and I just assume it's her and ignore it, but I check once it stops ringing and see my brother's number and see that a voicemail has been left, so I immediately listen because it must be something serious. So I call my brother back but it goes straight to voicemail. So I check my voicemail. One new voicemail. I listened. Silence, then 30 seconds in a voice. It wasn't his. It was a woman. I have just slept with your brother. How does that make you feel? End of message. I know whose voice it is. I call my brother. Straight to voicemail. I try again. Nothing. I try his housemates. It rings out. I even try stalker, no answer. I end up heading straight to my brother's house with a mind full of macabre images. Stalker had beaten up a female friend of mine. Get to my brother, ring the doorbell. Begin banging on the door. The scenes in my head becoming more gruesome. I am panicking. I need to get into his house. No, I am getting into his house. Then I hear it, my brother voice, as he shouts some foul language at me for waking him. Best sound I ever heard. Explain to him what's going on. Ask about stalker, ask if she studied I learned here. But she was gone when he woke up. On further investigation we found out she had also took family photos and a Radiohead CD. I run a gift card business that is specifically destined to be in my small country. I make the card. We plan on a meetup. I give them the card. I get paid. We go our separate ways. I got a message from a guy wanting a card for a friend's birthday. All fine. I made the card and we met up. I got my money and we left. A week later, I got a text from him thinking it might be a thank you or a review, as I often get those. I checked it, but it just said, "I like your shirt." This got me a little suspicious, as I was wearing my favorite shirt that had a Transformers logo on it. So I just replied with a thanks and moved on. Then I got a message almost immediately after I put it down saying, "I like Transformers too." I immediately got paranoid and moved away from where I was sitting. I then replied with a warning that I will call the police on him and that I had his number and that I studied I learned remembered what he looked like. He backed off after that. My business is studied I learned running, but I'm much more careful now. I was selling a bed on Facebook. Before you start thinking of what could have been sent to me, let me to tell you, you're wrong and it's worse. It began with the automated, "Are you studying I learned selling this?" I replied yes. 7 months later I get a message, "Did your kid sleep in it? Did he wet the bed at all?" I replied no, I slept on it. It's perfectly clean. Thought to myself, well that's fine, I would want to know if a kid had peed on the bed I'm gonna buy. Also yes, I studied I learned hadn't sold it yet. He replied too bad. Then I realized he was only interested in it if a kid had slept in it and peed. Sent chills down my spine that I was possibly talking to a pedophile. Thanks for watching mate. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more high quality content.